We're back. I'm here with Dana Scully and Fox Mulder. We're streaming. We're doing a little tarot. It's been a while since I've actually done tarot on this channel. So I have one deck that I'm going to use because the rest of my decks, a lot of times I leave them in my car because I'm not doing tarot all the time that it's like lugging them in and out. There's no point, but I always have like at least one deck in my backpack. So pretty much gonna use the deck that I've been using this week, archetypes. So yeah, I'm not really gonna do a reading as much as I was gonna pull a card for everyone, which is something I rarely do, but also because I like never stream anywhere. I'm not sure anybody's gonna show up to get a card pulled. So I really got to get to the commercials, the ads. I love calling them commercials. But then when I come back, we can do that. And there's a few other things that I would like to talk about as well. So we'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back on. I feel like there's a lot of things that I want to talk about. I was hoping to talk about them with anyone. And hey, people watching, love the lurking. Love the lurking. Chiming in would also be helpful, right? But that's okay. I will still pull cards for you. How about that? You'll have to like choose which one resonates with you more, I guess. And that's fine. Whatever. So I had to be this is kind of embarrassing, but I have no problem really with embarrassment or humiliation. I don't really care. I have press-ons. It's just that kind of time in our economic life that a set of acrylics is a waste of money to me because I have no reason to have them. Especially just for casual whatever. It's like, could I afford it? Sure. Should I spend the money on it? No. So I've been doing press-ons, and my neighbor helps me with them. She's really good at fitting and placing them. We do collaborative painting. Had a few people paint my nails, so they come clear and we paint them. So I did them for my birthday. You missed my birthday. That's okay. I wasn't here, but it's just my birthday. If you want to wish me a happy birthday or send me treats or something, I don't know. So we did this set for my birthday. One of my besties painted them, and then my neighbor put them on. Today, these two, coincidentally enough, popped off, and I had 3 different tubes of glue that were either empty or dry, and I was like, wow, cool. So I wasn't ready to give them up yet because I was planning on streaming, and I was like, they're so fun to talk with and aesthetically appealing in my opinion. But I also wanted to do a little photo shoot after I stream. I've been wanting to do it for days, and I'm getting to the point where I gotta do it or it's not gonna happen. And I wanted them for the pictures. So I used nail polish to put them back on, which honestly, new life hack. They're not perfect. You can tell they're a little wiggly, and I'm sure they'd pop off in a second, but they stuck, and that's what matters. So anyway, back to the deck. I just got this deck, I think, last week. It's archetype cards, so it's not really tarot. It's archetype cards, and it's Caroline Miss, and apparently she writes books, and she's like in her 70s, and I'm sure she's very cool, but I have no idea who she is. And you know, whatever. They're fun. It shows the light attributes. Oh, see, I fucking knew that shuffling. This is like the first time I've done tarot on here in so long. Of course, one of them is a size too big because I picked him out. Oh yeah, that bitch is not on. Embarrassing. You wouldn't have this problem with acrylics, but also you risk your entire nail fucking ripping off with acrylics. So do with that what you will. This one's too big, so it was prone to pop off anyway. And it popped off once before, and I glued it back on. Like I said, I don't have glue. So here we go. Got our first cards. Oh, okay. Oh, somebody left. Oh well. Okay. Impossible, inevitable. Headness. This has been coming up lately. Got this one in my horoscope draws the other day. Light attributes inspires creative energy to embrace the good things in life, celebrates beauty in yourself. Shadow attributes pursues pleasure to the detriment of health, indulges at the expense of others. Selfish behavior, basically. So, okay, so May 1st was the full moon, and I use this for my full moon horoscopes. And so full moon is like what we're getting rid of. So the focus has been on the shadow attributes. Shadow, right? So doing a little bit of overindulgence, say the least. Not done one. This is flirting without a cause. Oh, this one's popping off too. It's not that good of a life hack, but that's okay. Flirting for no reason is basically how it's set up. Just being a flirt, kind of putting yourself out there for no reason, no intentions behind it, just pure entertainment for you, while the other person gets caught up, right? Vampire, very obvious. We have vampire card in my Halloween oracle, and that is all about the drain, being draining. This is not, okay, so when we see the vampire energy card, I think the vampire, emotional intelligence, I think is the Halloween oracle card. When we see that, it is a warning to be heated. Heated, not heated. Heated. And basically, it's saying be wary of the people around you because they might be draining your energy in some capacity. Now, if we're looking at our own archetypes, this is about us. This is about you, okay? The vampire is your draining energy, your nuisance. Not that you are a nuisance, but what is nuisance about you, for lack of a better term. So you're the energy. And I this was in the reading I did. You can find it on my Instagram. It's at IllyMilly, just like the Twitch account is. And I talk about this, and I say, like, it's about minding your social cues, knowing when to leave, knowing when to let go. Because otherwise you enter into vampire territory of being excessive or overstating your boundaries or crossing the line. Right? So it's a good way to just keep things in check for everyone, including ourselves. It's not always the other person that does the draining. Sometimes it's us. So yeah. We also have servants. Okay. You should not do things for free necessarily. Doing things out of the goodness of your heart, or volunteering, or helping a friend out without expecting anything in return is fine. But if you are hardly holding on and not really taking care of yourself, then yeah, you have to charge. You can't just like do things out of the goodness of your heart when your heart is empty, when your wallet's empty, when your pockets are empty, when your table's empty, when your plate is empty. You can't just be like, oh, it's fine, I'll do it. But, oh, I can't do that or whatever. I feel like I'm explaining it poorly, but I don't like that card that much, to be honest with you. We got Networker. Haven't seen this one yet because, again, this is new. It's a used deck that I got from my coworker. And I love used decks. If you've been on here for a while, you know I love used decks. But it is missing a few cards, and I've only used it a few times. So I used it all day today on a few people, but I was only doing like card pulls, so it only draw a few at a time. But Networker conveys information only for personal gain, spreads fear and falsehood. So this is interesting because actually I don't know when this deck is from. 2003. So this is obviously from sort of okay. It's obviously not a pre-internet era, but it is a pre-smartphone era. It is a pre-app era, right? Pretty sure, well, I know the internet was around, but I think MySpace may have been a thing back then. So it is interesting to me to see networker because it basically is influencer. Like we are talking about the influencer. Let me see this. Like I said, conveys information only for personal gain, spreads fear and falsehood. Politicians, anyone, but very much the influencer life. Let's look, even though we're focused on the shadow attributes, let's just see what the light attributes are. Enhances unity through the sharing of information, engenders social awareness and empathy. Sure, there are people who do that. There are definitely people who do that. This is, to me, just very much an influencer card, and I think it's kind of funny. Again, networker, but it's like social networker, right? It's just interesting because, again, 2003. This was long before Tick Tick. Okay. Yeah, I do feel like the falsehoods and the fear mongering just tie in really well with what we deal with on a daily basis and what we're bombarded with online. And it's it's up to you to use discernment. But if you don't want to be saved, you're not gonna be. Okay, so we got Prince. This is another new one for me. Using power for self-aggrandizement. I'm guessing that's like grandiose. Grandioseness. Makes sense. Yeah, with all your power, what would you do? Queen. Wow. Getting the royals out. Same idea. It becomes arrogant when authority is challenged, controlling and demanding. You may rule the roost, but how do the roosters feel? Right? Are you an evil queen or like a good witch? Pioneer, leading the way. Love a good pioneer. I used to always brag about my favorite, Peter Gabriel. So funny. But in 2008, he was listed as one of Time's People of the Year because they make like a list of 100 people. And they have several categories in which people fall into. And rather than being under artist, musician, entertainer, or anything like that, he was actually listed under pioneers. And I thought that was very cool because he is an artist, musician, and entertainer. But his work got him a spot on the pioneers list. And also, I think his music is very pioneering as well. I do. There was a lot of things that he did that people really weren't doing at the time. As simple as dressing up and getting on stage. Screaming Jay Hawkins definitely did like the vampire look, but Peter Gabriel had like full-blown costumes. And I could be wrong, but I can't think of another musical act that was doing that before 1968 when he started doing that. Because I'm pretty sure Bowie didn't even start dressing up in those 70s, but I don't know, don't quote me on that. And he didn't really do like elaborate costumes. If you look at some of Peter Gabriel's costumes, the foxtrot look was like literally wearing a fox head, full blown fox head, and a dress. Slipper Man looks like a bunch of grapes, like literally a bunch of grapes. And he had the Flower Man. There was a bunch of stuff. And it was like full blown costumes and makeup and a lot of looks. He was definitely serving looks in the late 60s and early 70s. And that was very pioneering. Very pioneering. He also started using the headset in the 80s so he could do bigger and bolder performances on stage. And it got popularized by Britney Spears at the headset. I always wondered, was she inspired by Peter Gabriel? I'm sure there's other people who used it too, but he was like, I have to be able to get across the stage easily without a microphone on a hook, right? He popularized, well, he didn't popularize it, but he started using the headset. I remember in high school, I think I wore a Peter Gabriel shirt. And I think it was one that a friend of mine made me. And now I just recently reconnected with that friend, which is crazy. This is coming up. Wearing a Peter Gabriel shirt. My ecology teacher was like, "Oh my God, I love Peter Gabriel." And I was like, "Is that why you wear the headset?" He's like, "Yes, very inspired," because he used to do his lectures with a headset on so that it was harder to sleep in his class. But he was like, "Yeah, I got that idea from Peter Gabriel." I was like, "That's so cool." Anyway, talked a little too much about Peter Gabriel, but I've been really into music lately, and I've been posting some of my music takes on Threads again at Illy Millie. You can find me on there. So that's been really kind of funny because most people don't care. But yeah, pioneers. I immediately think of Peter Gabriel. So obviously, trailblazing and leading the way and doing something new and finding innovation in things is, very obvious light attributes. This would say passion for doing and creating what has not been done before. Okay. Shadow attributes, compulsive need to keep moving on. It's funny because I feel like I was always this way, and I am learning to embrace not necessarily what is, but I am learning to embrace, say, I don't know how to put this, but growing up, elementary school is very much with the trends, because I loved Y2K fashion. So yeah, I wanted to wear my turquoise leather pants and my turquoise tech vest in my 60s, 70s style graphic tees. That was in, but that is still my taste in clothes, right? So I very much followed the trends, but as I got older, I didn't like the trends as much, right? Mind you, I went to Catholic school and I had to wear a uniform every day, so there wasn't a whole lot of room for self-expression, and there was a lot of media that I wasn't necessarily exposed to. Because I didn't have cable and there was only so much you could talk about at school and things like that, So as I got a little older, right, and sync craze, I was kind of into it, but I kind of tried to be more into it than I was. Backstreet Boys, same. Like, I went and saw them. Really grateful to my parents for like making that happen, and my aunt who also made it happen. R.I.P. It's just I was way more into the Spice Girls and Britney Spears and Angela Villa and Paula Cole, which not even the same genre, right? But then I read Britney's memoir, and she actually shouts out Paula Cole in the memoir. I was like, I looked up to her so much, and they met when Britney was like probably 18 and Paula Cole was like 30, and she's like, dude, she's just so powerful and cool, and I don't even know if I really know her music, but I heard her sing and it's amazing. I was like, that's so fucking cute. And then, yeah, so, which Paula Cole, Peter Gabriel toured together a few times. They have some collaborative songs. But anyway, I am talking about the pioneer thing, so don't think I got so off track that I forgot. But as I got a little older, and I'm talking still like late elementary, upper elementary, I just wasn't feeling the trends as much. The style was changing into girls being more tomboyish and boy bands taking over, right? Because people think this was all happening at the same time, but it wasn't. It wasn't. Spice Girls were way before, and they crossed over a little bit, and you would have to check the timeline yourself and like look the dates up because I'm not doing it right now. But I was Baby Spice for Halloween in kindergarten or first grade. I remember my mom got me platform shoes. I was so excited. I still wear platforms. Baby blue dress. Put my hair in pigtails because I was still kind of blonde, which means I was very young because I did not stay blonde. And I saw NSYNC in concert in the 4th grade. So it all seems simultaneous. But low key it wasn't, right? So I'm just saying. And I did get to see the Spice Girls at concert in like, I don't know, 2010 or whatever. My sister fucking rules. Got us tickets to go. Crazy experience. Like literally just now I was thinking like, damn, it sucks I never got to see the Spice Girls. And I was like, oh wait, I did. It's so crazy. Probably was after 2010, honestly. But yeah, that was fucking insane. Um I feel like all five of them were there too, which doesn't sound right because I feel like they never did anything together after they broke up. But swear to God, all five of them was there because I can picture Jerry's dress, but I was honestly thinking Posh was wearing it, and so I'm like, was she not there and Posh was wearing the dress? I don't know. Pretty sure all five of them were there. But anyway, I wasn't into boy stuff, but I sure did try to be. I sure did fucking try to be. And in middle school, I went goth, punk goth. I still loved pink, but I wore a lot of black. I wore trip pants. I wore baggy clothes. I kind of got into that was essentially the fashion like around that time, but I took it to an extreme. It was like all black, chains, baggy. They're baggier than baggy, right? But it was very much in season to wear cool colors, lots of blues, navies, even baby blue, but like blue was like everything was blue. Think like Billabong, like puka shells, shit like that. It was all like boy culture was truly becoming mainstream. And it may sound dumb to you, but it's literally true. It went from like everything was girl power to like the men are taking over. And that window was gone. And knowing now like what was happening with Britney Spears makes it like so much more devastating where she was ruling the world and then like still was, but being so fucking controlled by other people and watching this transition, right, where her boyfriend was like becoming bigger than her, and I don't think she cared about that, but he did. So whatever. My point is I am making a point and I am talking about the pioneer thing. I very much was on trend with the spice world, okay, but I tried so hard to stay on trend during the boy era. And mind you, they paved the way for One Direction, and I liked One Direction, but girls could still be good. Anyway, middle school, I very much rebelled against it. I very much rebelled against it. I was like not having any trends, not following what anyone was doing, did not give a fuck. There was a subculture of what I was into, more or less on the internet, right? It wasn't necessarily mainstream. It was not ever not mainstream, but it was more of a trope, right? It was more of a trope than a serious contender for fashion. So come high school, I really checked out. Didn't pay any fucking attention to what anyone was doing. Did not care what was trending. Really was into like old music and old clothes and going to the thrift store and wearing tie dye and making my own stuff. I became very anti trend. And it kind of forces you, being in the creative spot, it forces you to be the trendsetter. And of course, this is kind of downplaying the entire conversation to fashion. Hey, Jezza. But it's something that my sociology teacher in high school pointed out to me. And he's like, you are an innovator because there's like tiers of fashion waves and not just fashion, but trending. Same with like the internet, right? Innovator, early trendsetter, late trendsetter, laggard. Innovators come up with the trends. Trendsetters make them trends. Late trendsetters, basically, once it's safe and comfortable and popular, they get on board. Laggards, basically innovators, where they wait until it's completely out of trend to participate in it, and then sometimes inevitably they bring it back, right? So these two don't care. These two care too much. And that's basically levels to it. It's good to see you too. The reason I'm streaming is because I was Snapchatting. I know I'm an adult, but I was Snapchatting my bestie in California, and I was showing her around my house and some of my stuff, and she snapped me back and was like, had tears in her eyes and was crying laughing, and she's like, you gotta start streaming again because I cannot believe how funny you are, and you were just like showing me your stuff for some reason. I was like, yeah, I really don't even know why I was showing you my stuff, but like I just got into it. She's like, you're fucking hilarious, you know, you should start streaming again. So I was like, fuck it, I can tonight. So here I am. And I was doing good streaming once a week, but I fell off again. Happens, you know. When I used to stream every night, I didn't have much of a social life. I had like mostly long distance friends, and I had a boyfriend, and my streaming worked with his schedule, and we didn't live together for some of the time, so I wouldn't be with him every night, and I would just take nights off if I was spending time with him. And then when we did live together, I would just stream when he was like sleeping because he had to wake up early, or if he was at work because he worked split shift, you know. So it was very conducive where I didn't have a ton of social life back in those years. But now I live in a city and I know my neighbors and I hang out with my coworkers and I made friends with the bar. So I'm out or with people like late, like every night. And then I still do have my long distance friendships that I keep up with. We talk on the phone or FaceTime or whatever. And then sometimes I just have to be up early, just depending on the night. But tomorrow I really don't have anything going on until the afternoon. So I was like, I can stream. And I've been making more content lately. And I do tarot for a living, which is sometimes why I don't do as much tarot when I stream, but I am in the midst of tarot. Also, I was not ignoring your messages. I was just like completing the thought. What's crazy is you can't see my skirt right now, but it's not exactly red and black floral embroidery, but it is this like, it's almost like a filigree pattern. So it's semi-floral and it's red with like a dark background. It's definitely not black. It's more like, pardon me, dark red with bright red. And it's not embroidered, but it's not embroidered. Like it's definitely got texture to the fabric. And my black, not really a jacket, but it's just funny. I feel like we would, like our outfits would match if you wore that and I was wearing this. You know what I mean? Like, I really think that we would look like we were trying to match if we wore those outfits. For sure. Yeah. So, anyway, this is a very long story, but some of these things are interesting, you know. I'm a record of time. And high school, I was very like out of the loop, didn't fucking pay attention to anything. Again, I was like wearing old clothes, making jewelry, whatever. And when I say making jewelry, I had like a yeah, I do look like I belong to smoky whiskey bar. I had like taken a piece of wire and put like a jewelry fastener on it and then like looped a fucking Hot Wheels car. Like looped the wire through the Hot Wheels car and then I'd wear Hot Wheels bracelet. Like when I say making jewelry, I mean anything could become jewelry to me at the time. So it was like beyond, I did not pay any attention to what anyone was doing. And the people in my high school were typically pretty boring. There was like the goth kids, the gay goth kids, and then like I hate to stereotype, but cheerleaders, you know, they're the prom girls. They'd wear their school hoodies. Oh, I got a follower? Is that what that is? I don't know what that little heart is. Did somebody just follow me? Appreciate the follow, if that's what that is. I don't know what that is. It's too small. I don't know. Oh, it went away. Okay. I forgot I could zoom in. Yeah, that's cute. Thanks, if that's the case. They wore yoga pants. And I got into yoga pants. I did. But I was so out of the loop that trends didn't faze me, right? I just didn't notice what was cool and what wasn't. I know you. Why does it say your first time chatter? You made a new account? I know Koozie. You've been on here before. You're back, right? New account? What's going on? Um, yeah, so it's just funny because then, again, coming back to a point, I promise. After high school, I became very anti-trend, anti-fashion, anti-everything. And because of it, if I did something that became popular or became trendy, I'd get really upset about it. And I'd say, I did it first. I don't like it anymore. I'm moving on. Right. And that's literally what this card is saying. So, on one hand, pioneer, light attribute, passion for doing and creating what has not been done before. That was me in high school, doing whatever I wanted. Hot Wheels bracelets, right? Hotel key necklace. I still have that one. I don't know if I still have the car bracelet. It might be in my old jewelry box, but I don't know. Right? But after high school, I was very much more into my identity and who I was and wanting credit for everything that I did instead of minding my own fucking business. And so my shadow came out, right? My light shined in high school, but my shadow came out after. Compulsive need to keep moving on, right? I had to, nope, I'm not. I remember I was very into like mythical creatures. I had a Facebook group. This is crazy, crazy lore, but I had a Facebook group called A Sea of Mythical Creatures. And we would like decide who was who. And it was like a whole thing. I went through a lot, 2012. And I ended up wanting to delete the group. And at the time, Facebook's rules were like, you have to individually remove everyone from the group before you can delete the group. So I had to go through and remove like 600 to 1,000. I can't remember if it was 600 in the midst of it or at the end of it, but it was like no less than 600 people. I had to individually remove every single one of them. I hope they updated that policy since then because that was ridiculous. But anyways, very into mythical creatures, and I talk about I'm a mermaid and blah 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 blah. Well, mermaids became very popular, and it sounds stupid because mermaids have always existed and mermaids have always been cool. And when I was little, I had mermaid Barbies, right? But it was around the time that like mermaid print, mermaid makeup, mermaid even jobs. I mean, maybe people were mermaids before, but it was like a big thing. People were buying mermaid tails and they were wearing fish scale leggings and doing fish scale makeup. It was all mermaid, 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 mermaid. And I was like, fuck this shit. They're ruining my shit. This is my shit. Fuck this. And I just ditched it. You know what I mean? So I am someone who can be very guilty about this pioneer card. Because on one hand, the light attributes, great. The shadow attributes, not so good. And now I embrace trends. I was actually just talking about this recently, where I was like, if I am following a trend or get in on a trend, I genuinely really like it because I've never given a fuck about trends except negatively, right? So Y2K fashion coming back in, that's cool. I never stopped really. I mean, except for my goth phase and then my hippie phase or whatever. But like I said, my whole childhood, I was like trying to be that girl. So I'll buy things like pink, fuzzy, love velvet. You know, like I just have so many pieces that are like late 90s, early 2000s. And some of them are because it's vintage, but some of it is manufactured now. And it's like, yeah, I just like that look. But I also really do not like certain trends still. But I'm not ashamed to say, like, I love highlighter. I love over blushing. I didn't even know over blushing was a trend because that's always how I've put my blush on is like to go from here to here. That's how I do my blush. I put some on, I rub it in with my hands. It's probably faded because I've had it on all day, but at the same time, I can even see it in the camera. Like, I am definitely blush, right? And I thought you were supposed to, that's how my grandma taught me to do it, is to go all the way up. So, like, I don't know. And apparently, over blushing is the trend now. And I'm like, right, I'm not going to stop over blushing because it's trending like I would have 10, 15 years ago. I would have literally stopped doing what I was doing. So, come a long way. I still put a little color on my nose, which was trending years ago, but I liked it and I still do it. I still put a little like either white or cream sparkles on my nose. And I think it's fucking cute. And sometimes it's red. But you know, yeah. And I'm not it's truly about riding the wave and not like going with the flow or some way or the other. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to jump on anything. And like when I was talking about Y2K fashion, how much I like it, there are certain trends that I will never get behind. Low-rise jeans. Sorry. Not with all this junk in the trunk. Not when I'm carrying around that thing. The fuck am I supposed to do in low-rise jeans? Show my ass? There's no fucking way. There's no fucking way. Same with the short little mini skirts. My mini skirts have to go mid-thigh. That's mini to me. Real tight pencil too. So even if it rides up, it don't go above my ass cheeks because my ass cheeks stop them from riding up too much. I know it's a little TMI, but I'm just saying there's like this whole aesthetic of like a skirt should be the size of a belt. Not for me. Not fucking me. I'm gonna look like a fool if I do that. And I have mad respect for these skinny girls who can pull that off and who can wear that and have a little bit of cheek hanging out. Do you know how much fucking cheek I would have hanging out if I wore a skirt this thick? I can't. You can't fathom. I can fathom. I'm laughing. It would be like this. Like, not a good visual example, but yeah. I mean, I could stand up, but I'm not gonna. Just crazy concept. So there's certain things, you know, and like I remember in like 6th grade, I wanted cowboy boots so bad, even though I'd never listened to country music, and I'd never even probably been to a southern state at the time. I wanted cowboy boots so bad. I went to go try them on. I was like, I don't think I don't like these. This isn't gonna work, and I ended up getting them. And then now everybody has cowboy boots. It's been a thing for a while, and before it was like you didn't do it, but I wanted them. It was like the beginning of a trend where I was like, yeah, I could see myself wearing some cowboy boots. And I was like, absolutely not. No, never owned them. Never owned cowboy boots. I remember my sister gave me her old gaucho pants because she was very on trend. I don't think she cared about trends. I think, well, maybe she did. I don't know. She definitely doesn't now. She just like has her own style, but she did care more about trends in high school where she wanted to try everything. But she would not do things she didn't like. She wanted to try it, right? She wanted to try out the new bags and try out the new clothes and try out the new makeup and try out the new look. But she would stick to what she liked and stick to what looked good on her, you know? So when she was done with her gaucho pants, she handed them off to me. And I always loved these fucking pants. Loved them. They had like sequins of gemstones on the waistband and they were brown, which I still am not good at like dressing in brown. Okay. But I just couldn't do it. I couldn't pull them off. And I really wanted to. Really like those pants. Couldn't pull them off. It takes a lot for me to not be able to pull something off. I'm not gonna lie. Like I look good in everything. I have stood up on stream before. If you're not paying attention, that's on you. But actually, like the table is literally right here, and the couch is here, and the camera's here. And so I think if I stood up, it wouldn't even work. But I got a fat fucking ass. I'm not gonna lie. When I gain weight, it does go to all the right places. My thighs, thicker. My boobs, bigger. My ass, fatter. Sure, my stomach, I look pregnant half the time, but like, it's only if I'm bloated, baby. You know? And I'll take it. Are my arms a little bigger? Yeah. But at least I'm getting it. Keeping my hourglass, still got this like tiny little waist. Sometimes I put clothes on, I'm like, I didn't even know I look like that. For real. And then I look back at pictures. And it's so funny. I look back on pictures and I am like, oh my God. I was so skinny. 4. I was so skinny. And I never in my life felt skinny. Ever. I always thought of myself as slim thick. And I look back at pictures and I'm like, why did you think that? You're like bordering on dainty, right? But I'm kind of too tall to be dainty, but like I was very skinny. But then I saw these pictures the other day that my friend took in like 2015. And again, skinny all the way. And then bam! Right? And I was like, that's why I was. Woo! Thighs, not this thick, but like thick. Booty, pop it. And I'm skinny, skinny, bam. And so I was always built like this, but my boobs were smaller, my stomach was smaller, whatever. Actually, I'm popping out right now. This is awkward. Okay. I am lucky, and I know that. And it's funny because my coworker the other day I walked in, she's like, "You're getting skinnier every time I see you." I'm like, "I know. I'm not even trying to do anything. I just stopped doing a certain thing." And she's like, "Damn, it just falls off." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm lucky, but I'm still a lot bigger than I used to be, you know." Um, but it's quite funny. It's quite funny. Um, that I also used to inflate my size because people, for sure, I know body dysmorphia is very real, and I'm not even excluding myself from that group of having body dysmorphia. But I always thought of myself as being so much bigger than I am. Like I was pretty chubby in high school. I'm just gonna say it. Like I don't care. I weighed like 160 in high school, I'm pretty sure. I was pretty chubby in high school. You can see it on my face. It's really cute. But I get why I was self-conscious, because I just didn't wear it well. And now I weigh far more than I did in high school, but I don't have the same look or features that I wear way better now, you know? And so I also, just since we're talking about it anyway, I do find it disgusting when people are like, oh, barely legal, or the age of consent is 16, or act like teenage girls are like the epitome of attractiveness. I'm sorry. I know for some people they peak in high school and it's all downhill from there, but like me at 16 versus me now, almost 20 years later, is whoo, not even a contest. Was my skin nicer? Maybe. I don't know. Who gives a shit? Look at that girl and look at me. Okay? That's fucking nuts, dude. Um, yeah. So, right. I don't know what I weigh. I haven't been on a scale in probably a year. Like last time I had a doctor's appointment, they weighed me. But I can tell I'm losing weight. It's so invisible. But anyway, I don't even want to lose weight because I just want to build muscle. And muscle, I should be theoretically gaining weight, but I haven't worked out in a while. I was regimented, working out like pretty much 4 days a week, doing a pretty rigorous workout for at least 30 minutes. And I was going to say went on vacation. I was dog sitting, so I wasn't home. So I didn't have my workout equipment. And then I just haven't done it since. It's so bad. And I like tell myself every day I'm going to get back into it. But right now I'm just like focusing on like stretching and dancing to like kind of reactivate those muscles and try to like do a little bit. But it's so bad. I need to get back into like actually working out. But anyway, the body dysmorphia, right? So like in high school, I thought I was so big, I was so fat, I was so ugly, da 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 da. And like low key, girl, yeah, you kind of wasn't the creme de la creme or nothing, you know. Um, amen to that. Amen to that. Completely agree with you. And that's what is so vilely disgusting about seeking teenagers or 20-year-olds. Oh, she's 20, she's an adult, she could da da da. Okay, whatever you gotta tell yourself. Like, she just graduated high school, dude. That is so fucking weird. I tweeted something the other day. Not on Twitter, I'm on Threads. I don't do Twitter, but I tweeted something responding to something that someone was criticizing Olivia Rodrigo, right? And um the whole conversation was surrounding her music video and her outfit, right? And I didn't like it at first. I was like, ooh. And then I saw someone break down that particular style, referencing 90s punk music and even back to like 60s. anti-housewives, and how that baby doll style dress always represented feminism and women doing what they want, and just like the freedom to choose. And I was like, wow, that really changes my perspective. Olivia Rodrigo knew our history better than I did. That's impressive to me. Sure, did she have a team of people who help her do that? Sure, could it have been a little dirty minded, and they were trying to make her look like a child or something? Like, I don't know, but they did a pretty good job explaining why it wasn't super fucking weird. I don't know why I noticed like the pillow was like kind of blocking the FBI's. Anyway, and so I defended her. And I said, honestly, she is barely out of her teen years. So I would have given her a pass regardless. Something like that, right? And someone responds to my comment and said, she's 23. Yeah. Barely out of her teen years. Like, what is literally wrong with people? She was a teenager 4 years ago. 4 years ago. That is one high school away from being a fucking teen, bro. Yes, she's barely out of her teen years. Barely out of her teen years. My response was, do you know how long humans live? I'm sorry. What? Like, what? Even a 25-year-old is 6 years away from being a teenager. I feel like it's not until you get into your late 20s that you're like, okay, I'm a decade out, right? Like, yeah. I love X-Files, dude. It was just very bizarre to me that people were like, she's 23. Yeah. She was a teenager 4 years ago. Like, what the fuck? It's not like she's fucking 40. It's not like she's even 30. She's not even 25 yet. Yeah, she's barely out of her fucking teen years, dude. That is so batshit bizarre, right? Meanwhile, these so-and-sos in the exposed group chat saying slurs and racial fucking hateful bomb this, well, I shouldn't say that, but the group chat, you know what I'm talking about. And these people were defending them and saying they were just kids. They were my fucking age. In the 30s. Hello. But you're going to sit here and be like, she isn't barely a teen. She's 23. God, fuck you, dude. Fuck you. Oh, God. It's really funny because I've been sharing some of my music takes on Threads. And today's take was, I actually think Olivia Rodrigo is pretty punk, TBH. And I am shocked, actually, at how many people agreed. Because I did think that was kind of a controversial take, but like, people are really, really loving it. Oh my God. Somebody responded and said she had the breeders opening up for her. I rest my case. That is fucking crazy, dude. Oh my God. That's so cool. Everybody's like totally with it, so funny. I had no idea that people felt this way about Olivia Rodrigo. Hello, Team Dinos. I don't know what the controversial take was. I don't know that Olivia Rodrigo was punk, or that she is just barely out of her teen years. Like, seems, because she's 23. I don't know. Lots of controversial takes, actually. That's kind of what this channel's about. I know it's like tarot, but I used to rock the tarot category all day, every stream. And I started switching it up, and I'd be like, what is that? What is this little TV symbol? I don't even know what any of this shit is, and I put them on there. I don't know what that means. Thanks, whoever. New chatter, maybe? I don't know. I really don't know. But anyway, I think I moved this a little bit. So I used to really like rock with the exactly. And people are sitting here criticizing her when I'm defending her, being like she's basically a child, and they're like, she's 23. Yeah, okay. Live to be 87, dog, and then talk to me. And you'll say, you know what? Yeah, 23 is basically a fucking child. But they don't treat teenagers like children. So they don't have that sort of empathy toward teens or people in their early 20s, right? Because they want to more or less sexualize girls into becoming women as quickly as possible so they can fuck children. That is literally what it comes out to. Like, I'm not even sorry to say it. I think it has become very obvious being the state of the world. But either way, yeah. So this whole conversation came from the Pioneer card. I was reading tarot. That's what I was saying too, is like I used to rock heavy with the tarot category, and lately I've been trying to switch it up where if I do want to like hop on and talk about music, I will join the music category, or if I want to talk about nothing, I'll just join the just chatting category. And I thought like maybe it would help 5555555 kind of like get more interaction, because sometimes I felt like misleading being on the tarot category and then like not, I haven't done tarot on here in so long, but I wasn't really getting, I don't want to say much action, but I don't know. I just went tarot because I was doing it tonight, but I did want to talk about so many other things. I'm glad you guys are here to chat. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Take power away from the women. Age gaps are honestly fucking vile to me at basically any age. And I know that is like a very controversial opinion, because everybody seems to say, oh, well, if you're an adult and you're consenting, and I'm talking like the 30-50 age gap, right? Like people are totally cool with that, and people don't even bat an eye, right? 50-70, same thing. Oh, well, everybody's an adult. And I'm like, it's disgusting. I'm sorry, but it's disgusting. And it's worse when it's a 20-year-old and a 40-year-old, or an 18-year-old and a 30-year-old, or I'm sorry, but a 25-year-old and a 35-year-old. It's gross. It's gross to me. But I am one of those people who thinks it's just as bad when you're 30 and 50. 30 and 40 isn't as bad, right? 40 and 50, whatever. At some point, you got to realize you have a more limited dating pool than just like being surrounded by your peers and people your age, right? But my thing is, a 50-year-old man trying to date a 30-year-old woman, or vice versa. Don't get me wrong. It can definitely be a 50-year-old woman trying to date a 30-year-old man. Consenting adults they love. Okay, I'm sorry, but you have daughter issues. Ah, yeah, I'm gonna fucking say it. Because if you're gonna sit here and say these 20-year-old girls dating 50-year-old men have daddy issues, fuck you. You have daughter issues. Hello? Of course it's a two-way street. Of course it's a two-way street. You have daughter issues. You either don't have a daughter and wish you did, or you have a daughter and you don't talk to her and you want someone to replace her, or you're a fucking weirdo and you want to fuck your daughter. Period. I mean, how are you going to look at it any other way? You're going to say they have daddy issues? They have daughter issues. They have daughter issues. Period. I'm looking dead ass in the camera. Don't fucking care. Don't fucking care. It's fucking weird. It is weird, right? Then you get to 50, 70, 20-year age gap. You think, well, they're adults. Yeah, but you know damn well that 70-year-old just wants a fucking caretaker. Probably because they don't talk to their kids, or they don't have anyone to take care of them, or they can't afford to get at home 24/7 care. So guess what? I'm gonna date someone who's in their 50s and they can take care of me until I fucking die. And then they're screwed. Once they get to be my age, they can fucking worry about it themselves. It's fucked up. I don't care what age. It is fucked up. It is fucked up to be in those big age gap relationships. And it would take a motherfucking lot for me to see a relationship like that in any other way. Period. Period, dude. Especially like, again, like, I'm sorry, but 25 and 35 is a very big age gap, because you're finally developing into an adult and doing what you want to do in your life and deciding where you want to go, what you want to be, and what you're going to get fucking pregnant by some 35-year-old fucking washed up loser. who has nothing to hold on to and is going to hold on to you and ruin the rest of your 20s and 30s. Okay, well, you have fun with that. Couldn't have been me. Couldn't have been me. Gross. Fucking weird, fucking gross. Just saying. Like, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But yeah, I don't think age gap relationships get better as you get older and with age, because there's always an ulterior motive. Ulterior motive, right? Anyway, let me catch up on these comments because I fucking Yeah, just like the parent child dynamic is fucking weird. Again, like a 10-year age gap when you're adults, like at some point you just have to realize, like I said, it's just like a more limited dating pool. And so if like you meet someone in their 40s, you're in your 30s, you're generally in the same kind of, maybe you're both divorced and have kids and you start dating, you're in the same season of life, right? But I don't know. Yeah. 30 and 50, it's weird again. It's fucking weird again. 20 and 30, weird. 30 and 40, not weird. 40 and 50, not weird. 50 and 60, not weird. 60 and 70, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But like I said, 30 and 50 or 40 and 60 or 60 and 80, like you're using that person. You are using that person. That's crazy. And it's also crazy that it's this mentality that like, oh, it's younger women using older men for their money. You want a fucking goddamn caretaker. You fucking weirdo. You fucking weirdo. And like people like Anthony Kiedis, when he has already admitted to pedophilia because he wrote it in his book, thinking no one would give a shit if he had sex with a fucking 14-year-old, realized she was 14 and had sex with her again. Why would you admit that? That's so weird. But that's the culture and society we live in. You can admit those things and nothing happens. Although he's publicly shamed, publicly criticized. He just still has a career, right? But they're not very well liked. Women are witches and men are afraid of it. But Anthony Kiedis dating a 19-year-old, and everyone's saying, well, it's legal. Yep. You see how that's a problem? You see how that's a fucking problem for a man who once fucked a child when he was well into his adulthood and his music career. So not only was there an age gap between him and this 14-year-old, there was also a power dynamic, right? And now he's dating. He's even older than he was then, and he's dating a 19-year-old. Yeah, that's fucking problematic. It's not that he's a rock star and he can get any girl that he wants. Why would he want a girl? Why would he want a teenager? That's the thing, is this conversation is so often focused on, well, any man would want a younger, hotter woman. But that's what I was just talking about. I wasn't a hotter. I don't really know anyone who was. That's a lie. The attractiveness, the elasticity of my skin, I'm still fucking soft and not very hairy and have more curves. I 100% look better now than I did. Do I look better than I did a few years ago? Maybe not. I think I definitely was like so peak. Late 20s, early 30s. I look at pictures of my girl. Gorgeous. But early 20s, teen years? No. Not at all. Not at all. So people using that as like well, everybody knows. No, we don't. No, we do not. No, we do not. Anyway, we have 40 seconds until the ads are going to auto roll. So I have to roll the ads. I have to plug in my laptop. I cannot believe I've been streaming for an hour. This is actually hilarious. This conversation diverged so much, and it started because I was defending Olivia Rodrigo. I love her. I'm a little too old for her music, but I do listen to it sometimes. So true. So true. But okay, 3 minutes. Get a little snack, drink some water, go to the bathroom, do what you gotta do. I'm sorry, we're gonna calm down. We're gonna change the subject. Yeah. But actually, before we change the subject, it's so funny because everybody keeps suggesting that I get with a guy in his 20s. mid-20s. And I'm like, that's so gross to me. No, like, I don't want that. Leave me the book alone, you know? Oh my God, it's so weird. But anyway, we have to roll the ads. We will be right back. Roll on, big mama. I like the way you swing, or sing, or whatever he says. I don't know. Roll on, big mama. What the fuck is this shit? Okay. Yeah, so hey. Yeah. We don't have to keep having it age yet, but you know what? If anybody is ever curious where I stand politically, that's, yeah, pretty much, it's really funny even seeing like the discourse. What was that? I know. I don't know, like, it's not necessarily how I feel about it. You made another Twitch account? The fuck? It's okay. I just plugged the laptop in and I have one more card here. That's so funny. You made another Twitch account? The hell happened? Account created 1 minute ago. Following since 30 seconds ago. What did you do? Like, what is going on? What did you do? Thanks for being here, buddy. Roll up, big mama. Okay, so also, we have been talking about a lot of like different little things, but I'm wondering, do you think 1111111? Caught a lot of those tonight. I caught 444445555. Totally understandable. I even thought about using my phone because I didn't feel like setting up my laptop, and now laptop is dying and I didn't plug it in, and I'm like, fuck, did all that work, plug it in. Also, my nail emergency is that these 2 nails popped off that press-ons on, because I'm not fucking getting my nails done for no fucking reason. Way more dangerous to have acrylic nails just to have press-ons anyway, because if my press-on starts lifting, the bitch is gonna pop right off. But if my acrylic starts lifting, guess what? My fucking nail is lifting, right? And it's very dangerous. I'll sit at my nails done once in a while. I got them done for my birthday like 2 years ago. If someone was getting married, having a wedding, like, you don't want to be fucking around with glue or looking cheap, whatever. But like, just in a pinch for no reason, whatever, I'll just throw the press-ons on. I don't care. They're more customizable too. But these 2 popped off, and I had 3 tubes of glue. 1 hard, couldn't get anything out. 1 clear bottle, a little bit in there, couldn't get it out, basically empty. 3rd, air, puffs of air came out, and so I was like, fuck, dude, no glue. So I used nail polish to put them back on. Pretty crazy, because it kind of worked. They're not super secure, and I don't want to fuck with them too much. But that was my nail emergency when I had told you that, and you were like, what are you talking about? That is what I was talking about. Yep. Little nail polish, insta dry. Paint the nail, the fingernail, right? Let it dry. Put some wet on the fake nail. Hold them together and pray. It took a long time for them to dry. Like, they're just now finally dry. This one is not lifting at all. This one, that boy's ready to pop off. But this one is also too big, because with the press-ons, we like have a case of them, and then my neighbor usually does them for me, and she'll line them up and see which ones fit best. So I lined up one of my middle fingers, and then I grabbed one out of the same case, but it ended up being too big, and I just like grabbed the wrong one. It was in the wrong slot type shit. So I hang out with a lot of young people. Not gonna lie, I do. I hang out with people my age and people older than me also, but I do have young friends, and one of them, not sure if you're watching, but one of them says type shit a lot, like punctuation. I don't even think I ever heard the phrase type shit until I met this man. And I get so vehemently, what is the word? Vehemently, right? Fucking annoyed. Every time I say type shit. He'll say it once every sentence. Type shit, you know what I'm saying? Type shit. Da-da-da-da, type shit. Da-da-da, type shit. Literally like all the time. And it seeps into my vocabulary. And then I catch myself saying type shit. And the thing is, I am too old to say things like type shit. And I was talking to some young people today. And I said type shit. in front of them. And I was like, that is so fucking embarrassing. I don't think I'm cool. I'm not trying to be hip. I hear it a lot. I hear it a lot. I hear it a lot. And it's ingrained into my vocabulary now. I did not mean to do this. It just comes out. And I said, dead ass, like in the same sentence. And I was like, that one I don't feel bad about. That one was cool when I was young. I'm allowed to say dead ass, right? Like, I was still hip when people started saying dead ass, or when it became popular. I'm allowed to say dead ass. I'm not trying to say type shit. I sound fucking stupid. I sound like I'm trying to be the youths of today. Don't like it. Yeah, it's uncontrollable. I don't even hear it on the internet. I don't see it in writing. I don't get it in text. It's literally one person in my life that I don't even talk to every day or see every day that got me on the type shit. It's crazy. Crazy. So every time I sneak one of those in there, I'm like, why? Twin is so cute though. And also you are young. You are allowed to use the language of the youths. I'm grandma. Okay. I was telling these young people today, I was like, the only one that the old people are allowed to use is 6'7", because it's so funny when we do. It was such a big craze. And the thing is it was the little kids that liked 6'7", like kindergarten to middle schoolers. And I guess the high schoolers were doing it too, but like my high school niece never got on the 6'7" thing and would kind of roll her eyes if anybody else did it. So like, I don't think it was as big with the high schoolers as it was for like the little kids, you know? And so many adults kind of took it over and started doing 6'7". It was like, to me, it's really funny because we're getting in on the joke with the children. We're not co-opting the language of the youth. This is a little joke with the kids, you know? And so I'm like, I actually do think it's like adorable and hilarious when us old folks say 6'7", which I don't hear that really anymore either. And I accidentally say it all the time. Yeah. I wouldn't say cooler. I think comfortable, right? Comfortable. It's uncomfortable when I say type shit because it's like, how old are you? When were you born? I got asked today where I was for 9/11, during 9/11. Child, I was in the 4th grade. And I was in Catholic school. And they did not show us that shit on TV. They asked me that. She's like, did they pull out the TV? And I said, no, I went to Catholic school. They would not get into all that. What were they going to say? We are blaming this on the, even though it was the, and also, so they were not about to unpack that religious drama with us Catholic kids, right? Also, interesting conversation. You know what? Here's the thing. I have one more card. Thief. Okay. I think the shadow attributes would be more obvious than the light attributes of this card. But again, full moon, we're focusing on the shadow attributes. Stealing money, creative ideas, affection, or other powers you think you lack. So basically, thieves come from a lack mentality. Anybody could have fucking told you that, right? Light attribute sheds light on the potential wealth within you that can never be stolen. That's okay. So the idea tonight was that I was going to pull one archetype card for anybody who wanted one. But there was no one like chatting with me earlier when I pulled the cards, so I just like pulled some and did like a little reading, and then it literally took me like an hour and 20 minutes to do the reading because we got so many like side rants and crash outs, if you will. So if anybody does want their personal archetype card, I will pull one for you, which if you know me, you know that's rare for me to offer a card pull like that, you know? Let me know. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that because then I'm going to do it. Then I'm going to say it. But also, if you do, okay, do y'all think that when I get off topic and when I stop doing tarot that I should be switching categories, or do you think the tarot category is home base and we might as well stay here because we're more comfortable? Just curious. Because when I first started streaming again, we were discussing like, oh, maybe if I go on these other categories, I'll get new chatters, new followers, and expand my audience. But that did not do anything. It didn't help. And I feel like at least the people that I know on here are already on the tarot channel, and so they come to my channel. I don't know. I'm just whatever. But we were talking about like age gap relationships, which I don't want to really go back to that conversation. And we were talking about like music takes, which I love that conversation. That's how I feel. If there was a philosophy or spiritual category, I would pick one of those. But that's kind of like what it came down to for me, is that just chatting is like not, I don't want to say it's not the caliber of conversation. I don't know why I felt like crossing my legs right now because I was getting into it. I don't want to say it's not the caliber of conversations that we have, but at the same time, like, kind of true. Half the conversations we have are very spiritual based. Like the night I ranted about Siddhartha. That was wild. I said some things that I maybe should have said and could possibly not be forgiven for. Whatever. What are you gonna do? Argue with it. Yeah. So, I just don't know that it's worth it, and yeah. But like, that's the thing. Like, I thought it'd be fun to hop on the music channel to talk about music and music takes and the opera and like what I've been listening to and things like that. But I do think that people on the music category want to listen to music. They don't want to discuss it. And so it kind of falls back into like philosophy and opinions. And then it's like just chatting, but just chatting, it's literally like, hi, oh my God, stop. Like, sorry, I'm stereotyping and I shouldn't be. That's my, let's see, that is my priest shadow, right? Because basically, oh, and there's poet. That's funny. That's so me. But yeah, I do think it's more of a conversation. Like, what are you doing? How are you? Can you do this? Have you ever done that? And also, there was one day I was getting so irritated with someone because I was like talking about something. I wanted to talk about something, and I can't even remember who it was. They kept asking me questions, and they were the only one chatting with me. I was getting a little short, and I had to call myself out, which I think I did. And I was like, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be short with you. I was just talking about something and keep interrupting, and it's fine. You're allowed to, right? Literally, it says AMA right here, and this person took the time to ask me anything like I told them they could. So if I ever get short or irritated about people asking me questions or interrupting what I'm talking about, that is literally why I'm here, is to answer questions. That's what it says, right? So yeah, maybe if you're a boy. I'm like kind of kidding, but you know I'm not. It's very much just like, I don't know, a few years ago, like when I first started streaming, like I would just straight up get harassed on just chatting. So I went back into it and I didn't get harassed as much. And I've never dressed, and it not, I'm sorry, no one deserves to be harassed, but I do feel like there's definitely a crowd of people on here that um, have certain respect levels for certain people. We'll just put it that way, to put it very lightly. Um, and I think I got a new follower. Let's see, what is this? Yeah, new follower. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow. Um, it's just one of those things that they're not Bajim. Do I know you? Why do I feel like I maybe know you? No. No, you're not a new account, so it's not just random friend of mine. Hey, Landon. Um, yeah, just chatting, I got very harassed. Very harassed. Um, well, this was years ago too, but it was very much like, I don't know. I could probably go back and find. There was one. Actually, the one of the worst days was I was in the art category, which was bizarre. But being a woman, that's why I made that joke. Yeah, exactly. Like, no, oh no, 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 not about the stuff I was talking about. You say that, and I don't mean to be rude or offensive when I say this, but if it's only that, then what is the point? And that is was my previous experience with it. Was that I'd get on there and they would basically troll me the whole time. And like I was streaming from a basement and I had to be muddled up. So I wasn't like showing a lot of skin. I wasn't like promoting anything. I wasn't um doing any, yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying. And I wasn't adding any innuendos. I wasn't doing any ASMR. I wasn't doing anything to elicit the way that people talked to me so sexually and aggressively. Like, straight up. Like, do you have a boyfriend? Can I be your boyfriend? Um, you know, send me pictures. I'm jacking off right now. Literally, like, I'm jacking off right now. My dick is so fucking hard and stuff like that. Where like, I don't know, it that may have come up on this category like once, twice, occasionally, far and few between, right? Because I'm on here every fucking night at the time. But it was like if I would get on just chatting, it would be like just them having the conversation about me and just being generally degrading. And it's like that kind of harassment. Um, so I was like, fuck that. I'm not doing this category because I was a new streamer. So I was a new woman that they didn't know. Right. So I'm just kind of like over exploring the other categories. Um, I don't know why you think I did. I'm talking about multiple people. That's what I'm saying. This would happen every time I went on just chatting. It'd be like they'd start off with like a how are you? What do you do? And then try to troll in like a well, that doesn't make sense or whatever, and then boom, I'm hard, or boom, this and that. Just like making it sexual, where they seem normal at first, and they seem like, oh, okay, you want to like hyper criticize what I'm saying, and then bam, it's nice tits, it's whatever. This is like the most my tits are ever out, and they're not even really out. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know why you were under the impression that I didn't take care of it just because it was multiple people on multiple streams, right? Rude. And that's also why, like I said, the point of this conversation, that's why I stopped using the just chatting category for the last like 3 years because it was like that every single time I went on there. And so I was like, fuck it, forget it. I don't care. I don't care. I agree though. I do think Twitch has changed a lot community wise. Um, and that's the thing too. Um, and also, this was years ago. I am afraid of years ago. But in the last few months, I've used the just chatting categories, and it's just crickets. It's just not, nobody's talking anymore, where it's like, yeah, it is kind of a new era of Twitch where like there's not as many trolls and you don't get the overly aggressive sexual comments as often. And so there's no one there. Like, sorry to say, There's no one there. And people that are in those categories are watching like the big streamers, like, whoever. Yeah, but they all come to my stream and I get less interaction. That's the thing is I think it's just like across the board Twitch. People come on here to watch who they want to watch. So I experimented with this a long time ago, obviously, like I used to do daytime streams sometimes. And it would be the same thing. Nothing. Crickets or just random guys with their dicks in their hands. And I was like, fuck it. If I stream at night, at least my friends show up because for a while I had a ton of people in Australia watching my stream because of the hours, because of the time difference. It's like 5 hour difference or something like that. Maybe more, but I swear it's like 7 p.m. for Dom when it's like midnight for us, if I'm remembering that correctly. Something like that, which doesn't seem right. 5 hours doesn't seem like enough. But maybe it just like circles back around because you go through all 25. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Um, no, that's why I streamed at night because I didn't get any action during the day. Because even though it's more people on there during the day, they're there to watch specific streams. Whereas when I come on this time of night, they're streamers that they're watching and then they go see who else is streaming. And people are more available at this time to come and watch, whereas during the day they're set out to do something. That's from my experience what I've noticed. That's why there's 10 people watching right now because somebody probably just ended a stream but they don't know me so they didn't like raid the channel or anything, but they're just like, hey, I'll see who else is streaming, right? It works way better at night for me. I've experimented with this a lot. Granted, this data is from a few years ago when I was streaming consistently and doing it every day. But lately, yeah, I've tried the music category. Even when I was playing my kalimba, like nobody, no. Okay, so I had a TikTok. You had to have 1,000 followers to fucking stream on TikTok. So my boss actually streams on TikTok and she makes good money selling her tarot on there. But I never had the ability to stream on TikTok. But even though I think they changed it from like 1,000 followers to 1,000 likes or something, and I kind of qualified, but they also asked for my ID, right? And yes, I did have to give my ID to Twitch once I was monetized. So I don't know what Twitch streaming is really like. But if I'm not monetized, you don't need to know who I am. You don't need my information. You don't need my ID. That's weird. That's a red flag. So I never signed up for it. But then, when TikTok rolled out its latest terms and agreements after they made their sale, I never accepted the terms or agreements. I never accepted them. So I technically have a fucking TikTok account. I don't use the app anymore. I'm just like over it. Um, and I will not agree to those terms. So you have to accept the terms to delete the account. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll just let it sit in limbo. So all my content's on there, but you can't use it for anything. Sorry. But yeah, no. TikTok, no. And then I went to go stream on Instagram because I used to stream on Instagram all the time. Instagram changed their policy. You have to have 1,000 followers to go live. Why? Why? You have always been able to go live on Instagram for no reason, for any amount of followers. Like, why would you randomly impose this rule now? Like, that's so sick to me, especially because I am close. By the way, if y'all want to follow me on Instagram, I probably shouldn't because it like is very revealing to my location and kind of like promotes my work and stuff. And I probably shouldn't do the crossover. It's not good, but I'm trying to get back to 1,000 followers because I can't fucking go live on Instagram anymore. It's bullshit, dude. Um, yeah, I haven't tried the IRL stream. Oh, I did want to update my tags actually. I haven't updated them in a long time. It's kind of funny, but I think I can also add as many as I want, if I'm not mistaken. I don't really know. Um, I don't know why musicians even listed on there, because even if I don't my kalimba, I'm not a musician. I'm like a singer and a vocalist, but not a musician. I don't know why that's on there. Um, but yeah, so I tonight's stream was better than the last one I did on just chatting or music or whatever other random categories I've used lately. This just is better. Is better. It's also like a certain alignment where I'm not opposed to people being challenging or controversial in the same way that I'm challenging and controversial. I don't mind having a back and forth discussion or discourse or disagreement. It's just like the level of interest and the level of respect. I do feel like I'm better off with my people, essentially, on tarot. Even if I stray off and start talking about music, because that's really been on my mind lately. I really like. I'm not inspired to like make music again, because I just do a bunch of covers anyway, and so it's like, what's the point in doing a bunch of covers? But I've been. It sounds stupid, but I've been listening to music more. And the past couple years, I was going in on some things. There were some things um, that was going on, and somebody had told me like when I was doing those things, I wasn't very into music, and I was like, well, maybe that's why I haven't been listening to music, but I don't even really do it that much. And then I stopped doing it entirely, and I started kind of getting a love for music again, where it like does make me feel something, and it does make me happy and excited and things like that. And so I just recently, it sounds really dumb, especially coming from someone who has always loved music as much as I have and gotten into like such strong fandoms that they become cult isms, um, things like that. I've always been super into music. My first concert was in the womb. Like, I was raised on music, born into music. So for me to have a phase where music just didn't hit the same, or I didn't care as much, or I didn't listen to it all the time, is like insane, right? So I finally started listening to music again, and I never stopped listening to it, but it would be like I would just chill in the quiet. Like I'd be cleaning my house in the quiet, or I would like talk on the phone instead of like listening to music. And now, like, I still like to check in with my friends, call my friends, whatever. But I also will just like put on music and do the fucking dishes. You know what I mean? So there was a while that I just like didn't fucking do it. Oh, recent, really recent. Like, basically, like in the past week, I've been going hard in it. Hard in it. But in the last couple months, I've been listening to it more. And what I've been doing is like exploring different songs. And it started a few months ago. It was like I'd find a song that I liked so much and I'd listen to it over and 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 over again. Over and over and over. Like feel bad for my neighbors. I was listening to one song so much because I love learning songs. So like it probably started with Kate Bush and like getting back into Kate Bush and be like, God, I love Kate Bush. Um, which I'm trying to remember. That may have been like before Christmas, but also maybe I have no sense of timeline for winter. It was all just it was cold, and I ended up like going to karaoke. Sick one day. Recent. It was I don't know. I don't know when that was. I honestly don't know when that was. I think it was after November. I went to karaoke in November, and then I went to karaoke again, probably January, maybe. I don't know. So I'm talking really recent, like really recent. And so it started with Kate Bush. Um, I wanted to like feel something again. And It was Rubber Band Girl by Kate Bush. I listened to it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Over and over and over and over again. I'm talking like, I don't know. We'll have to see my stats next year for my wrap up. But I'm not really exaggerating where I'm telling you there would be days I listened to it 30 times. Because I wanted to know it. I wanted to know it good. I wanted to know it in my soul. Mind you, that has been one of my favorite songs for the last 30 years. To know exactly. Probably actually more than that. But I love that song, and I wanted to have it so down pat where it was like I knew all the words, but I wanted to know the exact timing. I wanted to know how to sing it on my own. I wanted to not mess it up. And what I would do is I'd put it on and I'd sing along. And if I mixed up the verses, or if I sang the chorus too soon, or if I switched the lines, I'd start it over. It was like boot camp. Why? I don't know. I got very obsessed with this song that I've always loved. It wasn't a new song. It wasn't like, oh wow, I love this song. This is so good. I've never heard this before. I've never heard anything like it. No, I've been listening to it my literal entire life. And when I was a little kid, I used to do the same shit and make my parents play it over and over and over and over again. I listen to Rubber Band Girl. Let's listen to it again. Rubber Band Girl. And we do a little dance. I wanna be a rubber band girl. And we watch the music video in her blue leotard. Okay? I always knew this song, but I wanted to really know this song. So just repeat, bam, 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 bam. And I finally took it to karaoke, and you know what I did? Botched it. Did fuck ass bullshit. Granted, hard to sing Kate Bush. That's not my octave. You hear my voice? I'm not. No. No. I am a firm believer that karaoke is not supposed to be good. Like, I like my voice, and honestly, most people who hear me sing also like my voice. Most people. Some people don't say anything, that's fine. Some people have told me that they don't like it. But most people are like, damn, I didn't know you could sing like that. Wow, that sounded really beautiful. Oh my God, you really hit that note. Cool. Appreciate it. I love singing, so it better be good because I'm not going to fucking stop, right? But I get up on karaoke, all out the window. The point is not to be good. The point is to have fun. The point is almost to make a fool of yourself, right? So, totally fine with not sounding good. But if I did want to sound good, I would pick one of the fucking 55 Flaming Lips songs that I can sing like the back of my fucking hand, right? I would pick something in a low register, or even choose to harmonize something with "Bye Landon, thanks for stopping in." Something with a high register that I could harmonize with in a low register. But no, I pick Kate Bush, and I just sing way out of my fucking depth. See those trees bending when I feel they have a lot more sense than me. You see, I try to resist a rubber band. I don't know. And then you put a microphone in front of me, and it's like nerves. I don't know. It's just drunk people at the bar. Who gives a shit? Why are you nervous? I don't know. I get very freaked out. Also, Kate Bush songs are like typically no less than 4 minutes long and non-fucking stop. Okay, where she's just singing. No breaks. No, all gas, no breaks. And then, in Rubber Band Girl in particular, no spoilers here, but there is an entire breakdown where she goes, what the fuck is that? I don't know. And then there's another part of the song where she goes, so why am I doing that for karaoke? I don't know. But I was determined to make that my karaoke song. Didn't want to, haven't been back to karaoke since. But yeah, so I don't know. I got really fixated on Rubber Band Girl. Really fixated on it. I saw my neighbors. I apologized. I was like, I'm so sorry if you see that song. They're like, what song? I was like, great. Gonna keep listening to it. Then, friend of mine sent me like a TikTok with Sleepyhead in it, and that's my era. That's my gen, right? So sleepyhead, repeat all the time. I have no idea what he's saying. I don't know. I could listen to that song 100 times in a day, and I still couldn't tell you any of the lyrics except for Sleepyhead. Right an inch from his bed, and you wake up, sleepyhead. Great song. Listen to that. Boom, 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 repeat. That song made me think of kids and GMT. I was like, dude, this is so good. Nothing makes me feel like this song. And I was listening to that song. Repeat, 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 repeat. And I'm not gonna lie, I still be fucking listening to songs on repeat, but I'm branching out more. Where I might listen to a song a few times and then I pick a different song to listen to a few times. I pick a different song to listen to a few times instead of like the same one over and over again. But I will admit there was a song that I was listening to in the shower the other day, and the whole time I was in the shower, I just kept hitting repeat. Okay, no problem. It's late. I probably should not even be on here, but I love you. Yeah, and I'll talk to you Thursday, right? Maybe Thursday because I'm busy tomorrow anyway. So anyway, yes, talk to you soon. But for sure. I don't know if that answers your question. Really, is that recent? Yeah, it's really recent. And that's just like all I can do. I just listen to songs. Um, Super funny though. Super bizarre. Bizarre. The way I will just listen to a song on repeat, 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 on repeat. Yeah, I feel you. Sometimes I be sleep hard as fuck, dude. I'll wake up and be like, oh, I'm so tired, and fall right back asleep. And it's like I don't even know why I'll be so tired because I'll fall asleep early. Because sometimes I'm up until like 4:30 in the morning, and then sometimes it's like, yeah. So anyway, yeah, I've been really into music, and so I'm thinking about all these music takes, and I'm like, something I thought of because I got really into Jane's Addiction recently. Ted just admit it, repeat, 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 repeat. Um, that song is so fucking good. And when I was in high school, I loved Jane's Addiction. I like went to Lollapalooza because of Perry Farrell, and I loved it. I got to see them like 3 times, I think, maybe twice. I don't know what the third. I don't know why I think I saw them 3 times. I saw them once at Lollapalooza in 2009. I saw them once on tour at an outdoor venue in 2010. Maybe that was also 2009. I don't know. So whatever. But I got really into Jane's Addiction, and this is crazy actually. So my birthday was like last weekend, and I had been listening to Jane's Addiction heavily. Like I even sent a couple songs to Crash and was like, listen to this shit. And it started because I was at work one day and my coworker said, that's not shocking, or it's not shocking. And I was like, oh, Ted, just admit it. Fucking good song. And that's a line in the song, it's not shocking, right? And it's off the album Nothing Shocking. And I immediately like went into a reading and I told this chick, and I had a reason for it. Well, if it was last week, I am sort of edging the border, but not that close. I told this girl about that song and that album, and I don't know if she listened to it. I might never see her again. It's just kind of the nature of the job. But I started listening to it. I became like totally obsessed. And then I was like cleaning the house, getting ready for my friends to come over. I invited like 15 people over. And I was dusting and I found like a picture of my senior year. And I'm not gonna lie, I was fucking cool as fuck. I know we were talking about that earlier, how I like didn't follow trends and I made my own jewelry and wore what I want, da 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 da. But I really was fucking cool in high school. Not in the sense that I was popular, in the sense that I was cool. big difference. I had like a lot of random friends, but like I wasn't just like dominating the school, you know. I was just like cool because I had a good taste in music. I was an artist and I wrote really badass poetry and I was in students environmentally active and like cared about the environment and recycled heavily and stuff like that was cool, you know, a cool kid. Like if I met a kid like that, I'd be like, you're so cool. And I had no idea, right? Like it didn't dawn on me that I was cool because I felt like a fucking loser and a nerd and, you know, not popular. So I was really cool in high school. And I was so cool that I wore my Jane's Addiction bootleg t shirt that I bought off the streets of Chicago after leaving Lollapalooza on a Sunday in 2009. And the shirt, I wish I still had it. And honestly, I could just remake it because it was like the most poorly made shirt. But it was so fucking cool. It was just like the thinnest, cheapest white t shirt you could think of with an iron on of Ritual de lo Habitual, the Jane's Addiction album, on the front, a picture of the band under it, and the cover, the album cover of Nothing Shocking on the back. Okay. Now, this may not mean anything to you when I say this. May not mean anything to you when I say this, but let me show you. Let me show you the album artwork. Okay, I'm just gonna send a link. You can like listen to the music, I guess. This is good, and I was obsessed with this album in high school. I liked both of them, obviously, but Ritual de lo Habitual got me through some shit. Why can I not copy this fucking link? Juana's addiction. I can't play the music. Where am I gonna play it? Here. Okay. So if you click this link, it'll take you to the album Ritual de lo Habitual. But more importantly, it has the artwork. Ritual de lo Habitual. Trying to give you a visual here. Good idea of what I'm talking about and why this is so fucking funny to me. So this, I don't even know if anyone is still with me because Crash fell asleep and viewers went down or whatever. But this is the album artwork of the t-shirts I used to wear to school. Not every day, but every week, right? Never stopped smelling like crayons, by the way. Like this was, I don't know what kind of like iron on he did, but that shit always smelled like crayons and felt like wax. No matter how many times I washed it. And you bet your ass I wasn't just pulling it out of the dryer because I was not that smart. I was not an adult, right? I don't know. This shirt survived for a long time and then it started to get holes in it because again, cheapest t-shirt ever made. And then I don't know, the wax smell, the crayon smell never went away. I don't think I have it anymore. I might be able to find it if I like search through every single possession that I own in every place that it is. But I don't think I still have the shirt. So that's I wore that shirt all the time in high school. And I'm not gonna lie, it took them a long time to clock it because even though I went to public school, that shit is not just okay. You know what I mean? Like they're like, "Girl, what is that? You can't wear that." And I'm like, "Nobody's ever said fucking shit to me before." And so what I did, so funny. What I did was cover. God damn it. I hate AI. Yes, I found it. Okay, so this is very funny. God damn it. Okay, so if you go on Wikipedia here, you can See, there was an alternative cover, right? For Ritual de la Habitual because people didn't like it. It says Article 1. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting free exercise therefore, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government. That's not what I wrote on my shirt, though. I don't know what I'm thinking of. I don't know where I got the quote from. I literally put a Perry Farrell quote in regards to how they felt about being censored, but it wasn't that. I don't know what it was. Oh, maybe it was this. What is this? It was really funny though. No, I don't know. I don't know where I got the quote from. I thought that's what they wrote. But anyway, covered it up with duct tape. Covered up their boobs and their junk with duct tape and wrote on it, wrote like a statement. Again, very funny. But I wore that shirt for my senior photos. I had a couple different outfits or whatever, but that was one of my chosen outfits for my senior pictures. And my mom had to pay for that shit. I don't know what she was thinking. I mean, I guess I was like stubborn. I don't know. I wore like these really cool painted jeans that I got at the thrift store and my fucking bootleg Jane's Addiction shirt with titties on the front, penis out, stuff like that. It was very funny. But I got my senior picture and I put it out on the table for my birthday party because I thought it was cute. You know? Thought it was cute. So everyone was kind of passing around, oh my god, like that. I sent links of the artwork. That's why I sent the links, so you would know what I'm talking about. Yeah, it wasn't in the yearbook. They would not put that in the yearbook, but it is. Yeah, it's one of my senior pictures. No. Well, yeah, the wiki has it, but I sent the YouTube links. So the wiki, that was the front of the shirt, and then the second YouTube link, that was the back of the shirt. Yeah, there's penis. I mean, it's claymation, but yes, tits, vagina, penis, ass, it's all there. So I was wearing that around school. Fucking idiot. So not you idiot, me idiot. So yeah, I got caught, but I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna put it in my senior photo. So I had it on the table, and all my friends were like, oh my god, because a couple of my high school friends were here, but like most of them I met more recently, so they'd never seen that picture. And they loved it, you know. And they were like, oh my god, so precious. So the next day, my bestie from high school calls. And she had brought me a gift. She brought me like a book, right? And she's like, did you open the book yet? I put some pictures in there. And I was like, no, I haven't really gone through anything. Like, I was up until 5 in the morning. And she's like, oh, I put some pictures in there. And so I open it up. It's a picture of me and my great uncle during maybe my first haircut. I don't know if it was my first or not, but it was like one of my earliest haircuts. Me on my first day of preschool or kindergarten. I went to the same school for preschool and kindergarten. And for some reason, my ticket to go see Jane's Addiction and 9 Inch Nails in 2009. I was very blown, or 2010. I went with my ex-boyfriend, and I don't think I started dating him until 2010. Oh, you know what? No, I did start dating him in 2009. So concert may have been 2009. But yeah, she brought the ticket. It was so bizarre that I was listening to their songs on repeat for a week straight. And then I was showing everyone my senior picture with the fucking t-shirt in the photo. And then she brought me the concert ticket. That was bizarre to me, dude. That was so serendipitous. I was like, that's actually crazy. So cute though, right? But yeah, there was no point to that story other than it was very cosmic. Anyway, really all over the place. But so I was talking about my music takes too, is that I was kind of joking because I did used to rave back in the day. I was like OG Not like a 90s OG, but like a fucking millennial OG raver. No, she didn't go to the show. Isn't that so crazy? She was not there. It's my ticket. I went with my ex-boyfriend. We were the only two sitting on the hill. Uh-huh. It's super weird. I don't understand why she had it or how she kept it. All this time. Why? I don't know. Fucking nuts. I don't know why she had the childhood photos of me, let alone a concert ticket. And this is not like a sheet printed, this is like I'm old enough that we had actual concert tickets, not just like a printout of the ticket. So it's like the last relic probably that I had. Like, I don't know if I have any other concert tickets. And I kept for so long, I kept like Britney Spears and all these other ones, but I don't know if I still have them. Well, he wasn't my ex at the time. We were together at the time. So yeah, he bought the tickets for me because they're my favorite band. And then I went to go see Brandon Flowers with him because the Killers were his favorite band. And I think those are the only concerts we went to. Oh, we went to Bonnaroo, but that was also crazy. Somebody was asking me the other day, like, how many times have you seen the Flaming Lips? And I was like, I don't know, probably like 15. I actually don't know. I'd have to like really think about it, write it down. He's like, well, how many places have you seen the Flaming Lips? And I counted up fast. I'm like, oh, probably 8. I'm like, oh, 9. Forgot about this place. Oh, 10. We did that too. Well, probably at least 11. It's so funny. But I've been kind of thinking about this because like I said, I was like an OG millennial raver where I was going to shows every weekend back in like 2011. Started in 2010, 2011, was probably out of it by 2012. I got to see Flux Pavilion play with Excision. Like, shit was fucking crazy. I met Skrillex, and it was weird. But I was at Demph with Fatboy Slim headlining, right? And the return of Kevin Morrison. He plays like every year now, but at the time, nobody had seen him in years. And I think, if I'm remembering correctly, I mean, you could totally fact check that, but yeah, it was a very big deal what we were doing back then. But I have friends that still go to shows. Yes, Skrillex was shy. Skrillex was very shy. Skrillex was gray. I don't know. I shouldn't talk about him, and maybe he has health issues. As far as I know, he's still alive. It was the weirdest fucking experience, and I never in my life felt like I believed like reptilians existed until I met Skrillex, and I was like, this could potentially be what people are talking about when they talk about that. And again, don't want to sound rude, don't want to be like too judgmental, but he was very weird. And the thing is, I was with a friend of mine. She'd literally been to his birthday party. That our friend threw for him back when he was still Sonny Moore. Before he was in From First to Last, or like before they got super big. And he was just local. And they were like good friends with our friend. And then she was like, yeah, do you remember so-and-so? And he's like, no. And it's like, that was a big part of your life. Like, do you just not want to remember those days? I get it. Or do you genuinely take a lot of drugs? Or maybe you just have a bad memory, but it was like very bizarre. And she was like, okay, I just thought I would ask. Like, the fuck? And then we didn't want to bombard him, so my friends got a picture with him because they were like way bigger Skrillex fans, or like they got us into Skrillex. And so we were like, yeah, go ahead, get the picture. And I think it was their idea to like stop and talk to him because he was just standing outside of a hotel in the shade, by the way. It's like, how are you going to perform? So I was at Demph when Skrillex headlined also, not just Fatboy Slim. That doesn't really speak on. But yeah, it was a long time ago. So I used to rave all the time, and I used to party when I would go to these shows, and I quit all of it, whatever. So now I'm friends with people who go to shows like that. Obviously, I'm not talking about concerts, I'm talking about raves. They go to all these places, and the afters, and the this, and the that. And it's funny because I feel like people associate EDM with like drug music. I'm like, no, I like drug music. I like Jane's Addiction. I like the Velvet Underground, right? I like Bob Dylan. I like even the Flaming Lips, Animal Collective, like psychedelics. People so heavily associate like the quick beats and the repetitive sounds as like drug music, but it's like no, no, no. I want to hang with the big dogs. So like listening to Jane's Addiction again, kind of like gave me this funny thought of like yeah, like drugs, right? It's not funny because it's sad, like tore the band apart or whatever, and people die. But um, that just was one of my hot takes recently. Where I'm like, no, I like drug music, not just like music for people on drugs, but like drug music, like music made by people on drugs, and I'm talking about hard drugs. I know it sounds a little fucked up, but even like flogging Molly, like drinking music and stuff. I don't know, or like everything George Clinton's ever done is like heavily influenced by a plethora of drugs. It like depends on the album, what they were on. And I started reading his biography a few years ago, like 10 years ago, and I never finished it because I don't think I've ever finished any biography except Britney Spears' memoir. I try. Neil Peart's, nope. Curtis Mayfield's, nope. I just at some point it's like just talk about yourself, whether it's because Curtis Mayfield didn't write his, somebody else wrote it, and so it's in third person. It's still like this is just too much information. I just don't need this, and it's interesting, but I just get halfway through, and then I just like don't do it. But I have a signed copy of George Clinton's memoir. He was talking about Sly being like very into opiates, very into heroin, and saying like that's why the music was so fucking good. He was strung out. It's like yeah, I like drug music. For real, for real. Not just music for people on drugs. That makes sense. It's just funny. Same with like the Grateful Dead. Everybody knows psychedelics, but the reason Jerry was in rehab in the first place is because they started getting into junk too. So anyway, I feel like I'm just exhausting myself talking so much. Am I gonna be embarrassed by this stream later? Is that so funny that I was just like talking about so many things? I have to roll the ads in 1 minute. Is the shit of it. So I could go, or I could roll the ads so that we can like actually wrap it up. But I like just got a wave of sleepiness where it's like, yeah, girl, it's 2 in the morning, go to bed. But I'll just roll the ads and then we'll come back and discuss perhaps future of streaming. So I actually wouldn't mind getting an opinion on a couple things too. So I'll be back in 3 minutes, but only for like a minute. Okay. If you want, I did do like the kind of like general tarot, but I will pull you a card. And if anybody wants to speak up and get a card pulled for themselves, I'll pull one for you too. But this one's gonna be for Bajib. Bajib. I feel like you have to say it like that. Also, I started watching a movie the other night, and like that's the thing. I'll watch movies on my phone, Tubi all day. Watch Tubi on my phone a lot of nights, and then I get tired and I turn it off so that I'm not just sleeping with the thing sound and light on. But today I decided to finish watching it during dinner, and that shit had me fucked up for hours. I was like, quiet, 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 quiet. I couldn't. It was really good, and I absolutely loved it. And I think it's a very necessary film, and I had never heard of it, and that is shocking to me that I'd never heard of it because I think it is such an important film. It's called The Smokers, and if you looked at it, if you, I don't know what I don't like watching trailers, but I read the description and I saw like the movie poster. It seems like it'd be like a fun kind of like chick flick. No, I didn't necessarily cry, but I was crazy. Like very emotional, very grabbing, very real, very raw, very again, I think it's an important film that I'm surprised isn't in the conversation more when it comes to like feminist media or classic 90s movies or what have you. Busy Phillips gives the performance of a fucking lifetime. And I totally see, actually, I don't know what year the movie came out. I kind of want to look it up because I could see why she became, what's her name? Kim in Freaks and Geeks, which was, I think, 2000 or 1999. Is from the year 2000. So I guess they came out kind of like simultaneously. But yeah. Again, free on Tubi. So fucking good, dude. Like, oh my god, it's so fucking good. It's so fucking good. But again, super jarring, super fucking sad. Let me see. That was 1999. Okay, so that Freaks and Geeks got her that role. It makes perfect sense. But yeah, dude, that was such a good fucking movie, but it was jarring. So we got Healer and we got Monk slash Nun. So if you want to develop and Messiah, you're on a religious kick, huh, Bubba? Um, if you exorcist, okay. So and priest, damn, that's crazy that I'd just be visionary damsel. Um, I'm gonna tell you that if you want to kind of like do what I do or get into a certain practice or um, become like not necessarily a religious figure, but if you want to achieve, I don't want to say enlightenment either, but if you're trying to get into the vibes, you want to be a healer, you want to do this, you want to be a free thinker or what have you. You have to um, let go of a lot of things. You have to purge. Um, I was told many times to quit smoking weed, and I denied it. I said, I don't need to. That's not about me. That's not for me. I should smoke weed. I have to smoke weed. My life fell apart so hard me smoking weed. I finally cut back, and it took like way too much for me to actually quit, and I did quit. It's been a year and a half since I quit smoking. And yes, I still drink, and I have my 1 to 2 cigarettes a day. But I had to quit smoking weed. And I kind of get to this point where I want to quit drinking, but I don't drink that much and it's very social for me. Whereas weed was not social. It could be, sure, smoke with my friends, but I was very dependent on it. I smoked all day, every day to get things done, to clean the house, to go out, to go to work, to do anything. I had to smoke, had to smoke, had to smoke, had to smoke. It's annoying. It's annoying. And it's a crutch. I don't care what anybody says. It may not be addicting, but it is habit forming. And people don't realize, like, you might be self-medicating, but what's the medication? Like, no. Just not it for me. But anyway, if that's the route you want to go, you have to give something up. And you have to prove that it's worth it to give that up, basically. Now, I'm kind of sensing this could be a personality trait of yours, which is really hard too, because I would like to be less mean and not be such a bully, even though I do it in a way that I'm joking with my friends. I don't like it. I literally have given the shirt off my back, given away my last dollar, but like, I can be so harsh and so mean sometimes. It might be more of a personality thing for you, where you have to give up something like dating. You have to give up being in a leadership role, right? Whatever it is, you'll know what your biggest adversary is, but you do have to give something up, and you have to know what your limits are. If you want to be a healer, you can't force your healing upon people. But if you get really good at it, I do not solicit readings, right? Even at work, we're not like really allowed to talk to customers or ask them if they want a reading or make it known that we're there. They have to come to us. They have to ask us. And that's the way it should be. So you cannot be overbearing about it and say, oh, well, I did this. I quit. So you can quit too, and I'll help you quit. Da 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 da. Like, well, like I said, I'm kind of getting the vibe that it's a personality thing for you. You're pushy. I don't know if you realize that you're pushy, but I think you're pushy. And I don't just mean with me. I mean, I'm picturing it, like I'm hearing it, like you're pushy. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. If you want to help people, you cannot tell them you want to help them. You cannot be the one to suggest the help. You have to let them come to you. So you could be the best healer in the world. You could literally cure diseases. But if you are asking people if they want to be healed, it's not going to work. It's going to backfire, basically. So you have to let go of like the pushiness. And again, energy vampire showing up with it. Engineer. It's okay to follow directions. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to not know every little detail about every little thing. You also spend too much time alone. And I think that you may feel like, oh, I'm getting my energy back and I'm revitalizing myself and I'm replenishing and I need time to think and I'm an introvert, da 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 da. You're spending too much time alone. It doesn't matter what your excuse is, you're spending too much time alone. So when you go out and you see people, you approach people, you are basically, how to put it, like, that's why your energy comes off as so pushy. Where even if you're close to someone, well, you haven't been around. How would you know? Why would you think that? You don't even know what's going on. You haven't even been paying attention to my life, kind of thing. Where it's like, yeah, you probably have no one to talk, but you're talking, and that's where it's like, okay, hero, heroine, same. You're getting a lot of the same reiterations on this one. You cannot save everyone. So even if you became a healer, let's say when I say healer, you might be in med school, you might be becoming a doctor, you might have your nursing degree. I don't know. You don't have to be a healer like me. You don't have to do the woo-woo stuff. You can do something very practical. That's why engineer came up, right? You might be, but again, you cannot elicit certain things from people, right? You cannot tell them you should really see a doctor. You need to make an appointment. That doesn't look good if it's unsolicited. Obviously, if someone is bleeding out in front of you and you're like, yo, that needs stitches, okay, that is your civic duty, right? If you see a sore on someone's body, you can tell them you should get that checked out, right? If someone's losing rapid weight and they don't know why, okay, you don't know. If someone's on Ozempic, they might not admit they're on Ozempic. So if they're losing rapid weight, maybe they were doing that on purpose. Uh-huh. But it's not your place to force them to do anything about any of it. You should get that checked out. That does need stitches. You could be sick. Instead of, I'm taking you in right now. I'm going to make sure that you're making an appointment. I'm worried about you. Healers let those that need to be healed come to them for the healing. It is what it is. It is what it is. Right? So that's something to think about. And then also leave goddess. It's funny because we were talking so much about women earlier, and I feel like it was more like me and Jezza having that conversation than me and you. And I actually don't even know that you were present for the conversation that we had, but we were talking about women and just the advantage that is taken of them, right? But you need to be careful that you are not the one exploiting the women in your life. Or if you are a woman, I actually don't know, but if you are a woman, that you're not exploiting yourself either. So, yeah. That's what she got. And that was longer than I wanted. And Trickster. We were having a very long discussion about trolls, but I have a feeling that you would have come on here and started trolling if we didn't weren't in the middle of the conversation about trolling. You little bit of a trickster. A little bit mischievous over there. Yeah. It's these cards, sorry, you weren't here at the beginning. These are archetype cards. So each card has a light attribute and a shadow attribute. And because we are in the reminiscent days of the full angel maxing, you're funny. Well, angel is actually one of the cards in here, and there is a downside of being the angel, and it's very similar to the trickster energy. So, anyways, because the full moon was a few days ago, I used these cards for my full moon horoscopes. Follow me on Instagram if you want to read my horoscopes. If you have any ideas of like where else I could post horoscopes, I guess like shout it out. It's not really like something I can do on here. But that's my Instagram, even though it's very revealing to give you access to my Instagram. But it is what it is. I'm pretty sure it's in my link tree in the bio on this website. So if somebody wanted to find it, they genuinely could. But I'm trying to get to 1,000 followers. So no guarantees I'm gonna follow y'all back. I don't know who any of you are. If you tell me this is who I am, like sure, if you have a picture on your profile, yeah, like I follow you back. But if you're just an anonymous account, like sometimes I don't follow. So there's some people I have followed back from Twitch because I know it's them. But if you're just an anonymous account with another anonymous account, then like I'm not necessarily gonna follow every single anonymous account. You know what I mean? And I'm not even trying to be rude. I'm being honest, right? So yeah, some guy today, and he made me follow his Instagram, and I was there working and promoting my fucking business, and he didn't follow me back. And I don't even know. Like, I'm sorry, but what the fuck? Like, you're literally like kind of taking. So it was weird. It was really weird. But I was like, don't stay in touch with me then. Like, don't sit here and be like, oh, you should follow me. We should stay. It was weird, right? So I would just like to be honest. Oh, my nail just popped off again. I would like to be honest that I don't always follow anonymous accounts back. And if you don't make it very clear who you are, I might not follow you back. That's that. If I don't see your face. I'm not gonna like rush to be like, yeah, we're friends. Like, no, dude, but whatever. Anyway, um, I was using this deck for my horoscopes this week, and then I did a video of the. Oh, it is? Okay, I didn't know it was on your Twitch. I mean, I don't. Do you stream? Because it's not in your profile picture. Oh, so I do know you? I'm so confused. Did you change your name? Oh, okay. Okay. I didn't know. Okay. I'll check it out after my stream because I think if I click, I don't know what will happen. But use these for the horoscopes, and then I did an extended video of the cards because I do written horoscopes. And I was doing tarot in person today, and I used those for the in-person tarot. I did draws for people, and so I decided to use them for stream tonight. So because it's the full moon we're riding on, we're looking at the shadow attributes, and that is why the goddess card was about the exploitation of women, because we're looking at the shadow side of like worshiping the goddess is taking advantage of her, basically. So yeah, focus on the shadow. And then the new moon, I'm going to use this deck again for the new moon horoscopes, and we're going to focus on the light attributes. So yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm tired. It's late. I should have streamed this long, but hey, I love when I make it over 2 hours. That's fucking awesome. But I really gotta go. So hopefully I'll start a little earlier next time. But again, this is kind of the time of night that works for everyone. It was really nice to meet you or meet you again. I don't really know. I'll go check the clips and see if I recognize you. Thank you. I had fun. I love getting to fucking rant, and I love when people are here to chat with me, and I love, but also I don't usually pull individual cards for people. That's why it says collective tarot. So don't expect to get like a reading every time. It's usually just the overall general readings, but with these cards in particular, because the idea is draw one, but it's never one with me. I just do not have the ability to draw just one card. So it's very rare. You're one of very few people who have gotten an individual reading on here. So, all right. Well, thanks for being here. I don't know when I'll be back again. I really like get in the habit of streaming at least once a week, and then I fall off for a month, and then shit happens. But I'm gonna try really hard to come back. Busy tomorrow night. Might be able to hop on the night after. Probably gonna be busy that night, but we'll see. We'll see if I'm home. Whatever. Can I? If I click off of this, like what happens? I guess I could just open a new tab. And I'll unmute the chat. Oh wait, that was putting on mute. Unmuted YouTuber. Let's see. I am vibing tarot. Unsolicited opinions and hot takes. You sound just like me for real. Okay. There you are. Is that what happens when I fucking stream too? Why is this music?
Visions of Egypt. It was like, oh God, what the fuck happened? And then I'll be like, and I'll just like, whatever, do work. And then I'll be like, what? I'm fighting people? And then I'll like literally like watch like God versus God battles, like anime tier, and it was like, wow, who the fuck brought Japan over to have to fucking release visions? And it'll be like, I don't want to say the gods, but it'll be like an Egyptian god, and I'd see a Mesopotamian god, because when the visions first started, I saw a Mesopotamian god look at me panicked. I was like, oh, we're into something now. And then I just kept like vibing, like do what has to be done, and keep pushing the psychic muscles, because I would like know what to do and just keep going psychically, and it'd actually be like God showdowns, and then it'd be like, does this even matter? And then I'd like connect to like the collective tree of existence, like that's how you would check, and it's like, yeah, there's healing, there's
That's so weird that the random clip that I chose said there's healing, because that's literally what I was talking about with you just now. That's funny. I like the way your stream looks. I don't know. I'm not very good with OBS, and then like I have sat down to try to like learn it and watch it, and it's still like my chat looks like that, and I hate it, and I don't know. It didn't always look like that, and then it just became that, and I don't fucking know. But anyway, I like the way yours looks. And I'm wondering what you stream on, because I used to use Twitch Studio Beta, and I loved it, and I think I was the only person using it because it doesn't exist anymore. I stopped streaming and it went away, and I was like, wow, they literally kept that on for me, because what the fuck. But anyway, fun. I'm gonna go. We can discuss that clip. So I was thinking, there was a lot of things I thought of that I could say about that, but I can't right now. I gotta go. That was fun. Hopefully we'll see each other again, and hopefully I get some editing done and have more content to share, hot music takes or something. Thank you. I'm probably not gonna go to sleep right away, is the problem. I have so many things I wanted to do today. I gotta do them. But I'll do them in bed. So, talk to you soon. I don't know when I'll be on again, but hopefully we align. So, good night and good luck. Thank you all so much.